Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over some of the questions I've been receiving over the past couple of weeks relating to the exhaust system noise level videos I've put on my channel and social media posts that I've made on it. Now that's, of course, those videos are talking about Assembly Bill 1824, Section 4 that modified Vehicle Code 40610 that made citations for noise problems on your exhaust system, which are from 27150 and 27151. Those became non-correctable, or it's basically they had a fee or a bail penalty amount associated with them, and they used to be fix-it tickets. Now that changed, of course, with Assembly Bill 1824, Section 4, and how it modified Vehicle Code 40610. So I'm not here to discuss that necessarily. I'm here to discuss the questions that came out of all that. And some of those are, what are the state referee what is the test the state referee performs as far as the noise level test? Is that all they perform? Because that's the most common question I get. Then I'll talk a little bit again about Assembly Bill 390 that hopes to revert the changes made by Assembly Bill 1824 Section 4. And then the last section I'll talk about is the question I've raised about vehicles with a gross vehicle weight rating in excess of 6,000 pounds. I have a pickup truck that actually has a 6,050 gross vehicle weight rating, and a lot of these vehicle code sections don't apply. And we'll talk about the response I received from the CHP on that one. Please review the Automotive Information, Repair, and Modification Guidelines on this screen. Seek the advice of a repair professional if you're unsure how to perform any repair or modification safely and correctly. All repairs and modifications are performed at your own risk. Let's start off with the state referee questions as far as the testing and specifics of how the tests are run, what I can talk about here. The most common question I get is, will the state referee only perform the noise level test? If I go for a noise level test, will they do emissions testing? Will they check out, make me fail for other reasons because I have modification I don't want them to look, Based on that specific question, I went to the Bureau of Automotive Repair media rep that I've been had contact with, and his response was the state referee will only perform the noise level test. If you call the referee scheduling center to schedule your noise level test, and you go there to have the test performed, they're only going to perform the noise level test. But now let's dig into that a little deeper, where the noise level test does have them check over the vehicle in some sense, where they need to make sure that you comply with Vehicle Code 27150 and 27151. So where like 27150 subdivision A, I believe it is, doesn't allow you to have cutouts and things like that. So it'll look at that just to make sure that it's in general compliance from that standpoint. But again, those are noise vehicle code sections, not emissions. The information they need to gather for the testing procedure include gathering the year, make, model, license plate number, vehicle identification number of the vehicle, and then also the make and model of the exhaust system. Because you can have an aftermarket exhaust here in California, you just can't produce too much sound. So the other thing, of course, to perform the test, they need to have the appropriate information to identify the engine that's installed, because part of the testing procedure is to identify certain characteristics of the engine to know the proper RPM to run the engine at during the test. So that's information they have to gather to perform the test. But again, those are all noise level related, and according to the VAR rep, the only thing they're going to perform is the noise test. So that's the best I can say. I haven't had such a citation. I haven't gone to the state referee, so I don't have firsthand experience of going through it. But I have to rely on what I've been told, and according to the Bureau of Automotive Repair rep, the state referee will only do the noise test. So the state referee's noise test is based on SAE J1492 October 2008 document, which is a copyrighted document, and that's related to some of the next questions I get is, what is the RPM they'll run the engine at, and where's the decimal meter placed? And I can't tell you. Those are copyrighted documents. My company cannot disseminate that information without potentially violating the copyright on the document. I had purchased the document. I purchased both the 1169, which is directly referenced in the vehicle code sections, and which was canceled in 2007, and I purchased the one the state referee uses, which is J1492 October 2008.
And so I have those documents in hand, but I can't disseminate the information. There are ways to purchase rights to use those copyrighted documents. It's way too expensive for my company at this point to do that. So the best I can offer, I'll put some links down in the description section here of the video where you can go to the SAE site and you can see actually a preview of the document, which gives you like the introduction section. It doesn't give you the specs on what the test is. But if you want to get the document for your own use, you can purchase it for $81 and understand what the tests, what the requirements are, placement of the decibel meter, RPM definition to run the engine out, all that. That's all part of that document. Now you can take a look at the CHP publicly available document in the California Code of Regulations, the 1036 document, which I've included in a previous video. So I'll have a playlist link up here at the top where you can go look at the other videos. And also there'll be a link down in the description section to that as well. Now that gives you an example of what the CHP might perform as a test somewhere, but it's not, again, not the same test necessarily that the state referee will perform. So if you're that curious and you want to do it, you know exactly what's in the test, you can go purchase the document from SAE. Otherwise, you can look at the CHP document that's publicly available and get a way to perform the test, but it's up to you which one you want to choose and how you want to pursue that. So as far as an RPM level, I can't tell you. It's part of the document test, the specifics of the document, so I can't say what that is. My personal opinion, I prefer what's in the SAE document over anything else, the most recent document. That's as far as I can go. So if you have a certificate of compliance, you can then take that to the court and then they have the option to dismiss the citation. It's not automatic that they dismiss it, but I can't see why they wouldn't if you have the proper documentation with a certificate of compliance for your vehicle. Now that's Vehicle Code section 27150.7, where a court may dismiss an action in which a person is prosecuted for operating a vehicle in violation of section 27150 or 27151 if a certificate of compliance has been issued by a station pursuant to section 27150.2. Now that means if you have the certificate of compliance, they have the judge has the option to dismiss the ticket, but it's not guaranteed, but at least that's where you can go down that solution path where you get the citation, schedule the appointment, you go have the test performed, you get your certificate of compliance, you take that to the court, and potentially the judge will dismiss the citation. But you still have fees related to that. You have the $108 fee for the test from the state referee, and then potentially any court costs related to appearing before the court. And then of course, time that you've lost from work potentially to appear in the court. So the total cost of that may roughly equal the cost of the citation if we're simply to pay it. Now, a state referee test isn't required unless your citation states so, but you should check with the issuing agency or the court to see if a state referee test is required for your particular citation. If it's not, you simply have the option to pay the fine, much like a speeding ticket where you can pay the speeding ticket or go to court to see if you can get traffic school assigned to you. This is kind of that, you have the solution path of just paying the fine or going through a way of proving that your vehicle complies. So keep that in mind. But again, caution you, check with the issuing agency or the court to make sure that you fully understand what applies to your situation. I have no way of knowing all citations that have been written on this to see if there's any particular reason that you would have to go to the state referee. But according to the Bureau of Automotive Repair representative and my interpretation of the vehicle code, he stated that there's also no reason that you have to go that path, but check your citation to make sure you understand your situation completely. So the next question I get, or at least I haven't seen too much yet as far as questions, but I just want to bring up again is Assembly Bill 390 that was introduced in the California legislature on February 5th, 2019. This bill goes to revert the changes made by Assembly Bill 1824, Section 4, basically moving 27150 and 27151 subdivisions A for both of those vehicle code sections back to potentially fix-it tickets. So that comes out of before committee, I think in early March, and then it'll potentially come out of committee, get voted on in both houses, and then hopefully signed by the governor. when it is it retroactive, when it goes into effect, all that still has to be defined. But if you are concerned about getting those changes rolled back, you might want to contact your state representative and let them know that you are in favor. Of course, review Assembly Bill 390, which again, I'll have a link down in my description section that will go show you the proposed bill text for that. But it's basically just reverting what AB 1824 Section 4 did to the Vehicle Code Section 40610. So if you like the way it was before, January 1st, 2019, you probably would like Assembly Bill 390. Or at least give them your feedback on, in a polite manner, of what you would like to see, be it that bill or some variation of it, and see if we can get that change back to the way it was. Now, related to the vehicles with gross vehicle weight rating of 6,000 pounds and more. I have one of those vehicles. I have a Chevrolet SSR pickup. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of 6,050 pounds. And a quick refresher on that, gross vehicle weight rating is assigned by the manufacturer as the maximum weight the vehicle could be on the road with passengers and cargo. And curb weight is what the vehicle weighs just standing, with all the fluids and everything in it, but without passengers and cargo. So a lot of videos are talking about the vehicle weight, and vehicle weight is curb weight and not gross vehicle weight rating. So there's usually a label, which I'll put over in the video on the side here. I'll show you an example of that label on my particular vehicle, where it will list the gross vehicle weight rating of the vehicle. You might want to take a look at your vehicle. If you have an SUV or a pickup truck, to see if you're above or below 6,000 pounds on that particular item, because vehicles with 6,000 and higher gross vehicle weight ratings don't have the same limits when it comes to noise limits. And there's a couple other ramifications. I had those questions. I sent them off I called the local CHP office and sent an email with all my detailed questions, and then the local office wasn't able to answer them directly, so they sent it off to the central office, and the response was basically, yes, my interpretation in my previous videos of the vehicle code as far as the noise limits appears to be correct. The vehicle code 27150 refers to 27200 as far as defining the noise limits in force, and then 27204 defines it for vehicles with certain gross vehicle weight ratings and years of manufacture. So after 1977, with gross vehicle weight ratings of 6,000 under 8,500, actually has an 80 dBA limit, not the 95 that's been talked about everywhere else. So you have more restrictive limits on vehicles with those heavier gross vehicle weight ratings. So as vehicles have been growing in weight, so there may even be passenger vehicles that fall into that category. Some of the extremely heavy passenger vehicles, probably the high-end, super expensive ones are maybe in that category. But some SUVs and some pickup trucks can fit into that category, because my SSR, it certainly falls into it. It has 6,050 gross vehicle weight rating. Its curb weight is about 4,800 pounds. So that's what I mean. You have to understand the difference between curb weight and gross vehicle weight rating to know that it's actually the higher number is the gross vehicle weight rating, and that's what they're talking about in the vehicle code. So the other problem that comes out of that is the testing procedure for the state referee only applies to vehicles under 6,000 gross vehicle weight rating. So if you have a vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating of 6,000 pounds or more, you can't go to the state referee to get the state referee to perform the exhaust system noise level test. It's not defined in their charter to do that. Specifications are only 6,000 and under vehicles can go to the state referee for that test. So what happens if you get a citation for that? Well, first off, the CHP response included the caution, no CHP officer on the road carries a decibel meter or something that they can say, aha, you're over this limit. Your vehicle would have to grossly exceed the standard noise limits for them to even consider issuing the citation to begin with. And that would be like you've got your vehicle's exhaust system has a defect in it, such a rusted hole into the muffler, or you've hit a speed bump and knocked the muffler off of the exhaust pipe, or some sort of defect that makes it louder than it normally would operate. So only in that case would they really issue such a citation. But in that case, if you do get a citation for one of those vehicles, there's no clear path to a resolution to it. So you can't go to the state referee to get a certificate of compliance, but you're now in the case where how do you handle that? So if One, I would suggest understanding what your vehicle's gross vehicle weight rating is. And that way, if it's 6,000 pounds and heavier, and you are in a situation where they're going to issue you a citation, ask the officer, how do you expect me to resolve this? Because there's no clear path for resolution other than through the issuing agency. Because if I go before the court, I have no solution path to prove that I've corrected this in compliance. So that's an interesting question that still seems to be kind of open-ended. But that's why I bring up the topic, because it might be applicable to more vehicles than people think. But with that, hopefully I've covered the most common questions that have come up here. Hopefully you found this video helpful. It's taken a lot of time and effort to gather all this information, so I hope you appreciate that. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, I would truly appreciate it. And we'll come back to the channel. We'll talk about Assembly Bill 390 or whatever version of that passes, or any other one that hopefully reverts Assembly Bill 1824. So come back to the channel for more information, and check me out on YouTube, Instagram TV, and Facebook. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, smash that like button. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Please follow Retro Car Guy 530 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for taking the time to visit the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.